at least 4 missile drops spawn, and pick up all but, and pick them up in such a way that one of them remains on the screen. It's very hard, and we only get it about half the time, but we're going to be attempting it. That's the first of 3 mini-bosses that we are going to be seeing. So, coming up at Alcatraz Escape, the trick to Alcatraz Escape is after the last wall jump, you only need to hit down once to morph. In Terminator, the next room, we're going to run through the room killing everything without stopping. Unfortunately, we didn't deselect missiles, so we're just going to jump over the waiver. Because we we need to be full missiles leaving that room. In this room, we're going to shoot the pirates, which is going to make them put up their claws, which extends their hitbox forward, which actually saves about 6 frames over not shooting the pirates, which is an amazing, amazing time save in this game. Coming up next is going to be the first important mock ball of the game. This is going to let's get early supers and skip Spore Spawn, the DLC boss. What this is going to do is it's going to allow us to keep our run speed while on mock ball, and it's going to allow us to dive under several gates that you're normally not supposed to get under until you have speed booster, and that will allow us to skip Spore Spawn, which is one of the most important tricks in the speedrun. So after this, we're going to be heading straight to Charge Beam and then to Kraid. This is basically a free farm, which is really nice. So you're going to see our arms waving around wildly. Every time our arms move around, when we hit L or R to angle up or down, we actually are pushed a pixel forward. So that every time we arm pump, we go significantly faster. And as of a couple days ago, the difference in speed between arm pumping actually made the difference between the first and second place, the world record, and the second place time for the game. So something where when you're going for world record pace, you're trying to arm pump, sneak in as many arm pumps as you can, which makes so many rooms much more trickier. So what we saw there was a damage boost. To damage boost, you need to take damage, and then you hit hold jump and hit backwards, and you will actually boost very quickly. One of the few games where a damage boost actually sends you flying across the screen, which is absolutely wonderful. Spazer is up here, but in this route we don't need it. So we're going to be heading straight to Kraid, and we're going to be attempting the Kraid quick kill. So right here, we're going to be attempting the Kraid quick entrance. Shoot out all 3 of those and just go. And we're going to be dashing to Kraid as fast as we can. And now it's very important that our health stays above 30, so that we don't get health bombed. If we get health bombed, then we will only be getting health drops, which is really, really bad. But we have plenty of health here. Okay. That's actually really bad. Our normal Kraid quick kill involves 2 missiles and 3 supers. Because we accidentally shot a missile rather than a super, we're going to need to do a backup Kraid quick kill, where we shoot 4 supers instead. we successfully got it, so it always feels really good when you're forced into a backup and you manage to get it anyway. And here we have our Various suit. This is going to give us protection from the heated rooms in Norfair, which is where we are headed next. So one thing that we haven't mentioned yet is door fixes. Whenever you go through a door, the door needs to center before you go through it. So in many doors, you want to jump through the door at a very specific height in order to make the door transition as fast as possible. And that's just something that you have to memorize over years, over however many hours you put in, thousands of hours of playing this game. So coming up is the only safety that we're going to be grabbing here. This E-tank is not necessary, but grabbing this E-tank will allow us to provide much higher quality commentary, because we won't have to worry about dying. And we can just run. So it's a very, very useful safety to have, and makes the run so much more comfy. Heading down to Norfair, the first thing that we're going to do is grab the high jump boots. So in this room, we're going to attempt to fall without touching any of the platforms. It is very difficult, and we get it about half the time, so there we go. In this game, falling can be incredibly input heavy, which is just one of the amazing things that we love so much about this game. We're going to try a quick kill on the Nova. That went really badly. That went really badly. So unfortunately, we do need to kill the Nova in order to open the door. So we're gonna have to go back and kill it before we go up and grab the missiles. So that's a little bit time lost and is unfortunate. But it happens. It happens. So next we're going to be going through what in RBO would be the Cathedral Hell Run. Fortunately we have Various, so we're not going to be taking any heat damage. But we're going to be headed straight above the mountain so we can grab Speed and Wave. So right here we're going to use a flashing select. If you hold item cancel while selecting the item, you'll get it with flashing select. And that means that after you shoot use the ammo once, you'll go straight back to your beam shot, and that makes that sequence much easier. So coming up here, we're going to wall jump straight above the mountain, and that's going to save the vanilla route for this. The intended route for first-time players is a very long and meandering route around, but we just cut all of that out by doing this wall jump. Definitely one of the more time-saving tricks in the run. So here we're going to be picking up a speed booster, which will allow us to go substantially faster, and is one of the most important items in the speed run, just because you really want to go fast. And we want to arm him as much as possible, just to get those few extra frames saved. Always gotta save the frames whenever possible. So we have 4 supers, which is absolutely amazing. It is everything that we could want ammo-wise. So coming up here is an incredibly trolly room. If you fall, it is a real pain to get back up here. And definitely one of the worst rooms in the game when you're learning the game. There are ways to clip through the platform accidentally fairly easily for new runners, so very trolly room. So here's our wave view. We have picked up everything we want from Upper Norfair, and now we're going to be headed to the wreck ship to kill Phantoon, so we can grab our gravity suit.
While we're heading there, can I plug something real quick?
Yes.
All right. We opened up a new donation incentive, which is to save, kill, or taunt the animals. So, what you want to see at the end of the game, like taunting, sounds pretty interesting to me. Get your donations going there.
Yep, get your donations there. Save and kill is a wonderful incentive, and you get, and everybody out, and chat gets to, and everybody out there gets to decide what the fate of the animals are. So in vanilla, you'd want to grab your ice beam before you went up this way, just so you can get up the top of the red tower. But we are going to attempt it, but when we get there, we are going to attempt a very precise jump to avoid that. Getting up the red tower is definitely one of the tricks which gates leaving ice beam until later for newer runners. Especially since early ice only costs about 5 seconds. So it's definitely one of the last safeties that you keep. So we're going to be attempting the down grab. It's a strat that the world record uses, and very, very difficult, so let's see if we can pull it off. Unfortunately, we shot a little bit too late. But got a nice backup. Very, very difficult trick, but always one worth going for just because it's so beautiful. Coming up is going to be our power bombs. In a vanilla playthrough, what you do is you take these power bombs and go back to Norfair to grab the grapple beam so you can get to the wreck ship. But instead, we're just going to do a shine spark across the mode. The mode is a beautifully designed room, which basically makes it impossible for a first-time player to get to the wreck ship before Kraid. And a room which is very difficult even for speedrunners. It's a very common reset point, even in world record attempts, just because the inputs are so precise there. Fortunately, we have speed boosters, so we don't have to worry about all that. We can just take a nice and relaxed upward path across it. So the first of many shine sparks in the run. 2 shine sparks will get us across the ocean, and then we're going to be entering Fantoon. So for Fantoon, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to do an X Factor, a special beam attack. If we have just one beam in charge, equipped and power bomb selected, then you'll do a special beam attack and get particles. With Wave, it's 4 particles coming in towards you, and we want to try and get all 4 of those particles to hit. Right here, we're going to do a speedball to get into Fantoon. With Speed Boost, you can actually charge a shine spark in a shorter distance than the game planned to. Normally you have to be running for 85 frames before you can, but it turns out that the game only actually checks whether you're running on 3 frames, or on 4 frames in there. So if you just tap dash for those 4 frames, you can get there much faster. So Fantoon will open his eye after 1, 6, or 11 seconds, fast, mid, or slow. You always want fast, fast. We are definitely on track for 2 rounds. That was a very good opening. And this is a very, very easy, an easy pattern for 2 rounds, so hopefully we can pull it off. And there we go. That is a 2-round slow mid. That is absolutely the dream fight, and we are incredibly, incredibly happy with that. Health drop's not so good, but we got that extra E-tank, which makes us much less susceptible to RNG from Fantoon's drops. So these supers right here are the very last bit of ammo that we're going to be picking up. With this, we are absolutely set for ammo for the run. And now the next segment is just wandering up towards gravity. These jumps right here in the main shaft, Speed Booster will actually make you jump higher the longer you've been running, which makes these jumps very tricky. So we're going to be attempting an advanced...
While you're going through that, do you have time for a few donations?
Yes.
Alright, we have a €10 donation from Dark BSG, which went to Taunt the Animals. And an anonymous €10 donation with the comment, I'd say taunting is a more cruel fate, so let's tell them their mother was a hamster and their father smelled of elderberries. So that's €20 that went to taunting the animals. If you want to change that, get your donations going.
So we're going to try and charge a Science Spark here. We aren't sure if that's actually... That was actually good. We weren't sure if that was good or not. And now we have a nice 30-second cutscene if you have any more donations.
I'll do a quick check, and otherwise I can always tell you that people, if you have a free monthly Twitch Prime subscription, you can use it right here on the ESA channel. You will also get access to all the ESA emotes, as well as several BSG emotes, and you will get to support both events, which is a great thing as well. But it's best, of course, to get your donations going, because for this edition of BSG, we're raising money for the Red Cross. In this difficult COVID-19 times, they ensure that all the people in need of help receive the help that they require. The Red Cross does this by offering practical help like shopping, transportation of patients, collection and distribution of medical devices, but also through social media by providing us the information we need. The Red Cross continues tirelessly to help as many people as possible. So back to you.
So that was the moat ball. A really, really pretty looking trick. Just to jump all the way across the moat and get a mock ball out of it. Next, we're going to be heading back straight to Meridia, where we're going to be trying to kill Dragon as fast as possible, which will give us a loot of Space Jump and Plasma, which will make Ridley's lair much faster and safer. Our health is excellent for this segment. We would definitely be hurting health-wise if it wasn't for the extra E-tank that we grabbed, so we're really glad we did that to reduce RNG. So the next thing that we need to do is blow up the tube to get into Meridia. And then Meridia, we're not going to be doing very much. We're just going to be heading straight to Dragon as fast as possible, not really stopping for anything. Well, there's one E-tank that we're going to be stopping for, but that's it. So coming up here is a frame-perfect jump. We're going to try and jump in the last frame before we go through the door, and that'll let us do a very fast room in the next room. Unfortunately, we jumped too late, so we didn't get the jump, so we're just going to go a little bit slower, but still very fast. This is the next Shine Spark in the run. We're going to Shine Spark directly off Mount Everest. That room is beautifully made for a Shine Spark. And we're going to be headed directly into Bot Woon. So for Bot Woon, we're going to be doing another X Factor. We're going to be making 4 particles spawn, and we're going to try and make them all connect with Bot Woon's head as soon as Bot Woon's head peeks out. So that's also something which is very tricky, and hopefully we can pull it off for all of you. So 4 X Factor and then 6 supers should do this fight. There we go. That was basically a perfect Bot Woon. Not very good drops, but that's okay. So the next trick coming up is called the full halfie. We are going to be trying to shine spark across the room, the next big room, and that is a very, very difficult trick that we get about half the time. So again, don't be disappointed if we miss it, but we have to go for it, because it's a really, really amazing trick. Once thought to be task only. Oh, that was it. That was it. Unfortunately, we went a little bit too fast, so missed it. But that happens. That absolutely happens. So coming up in Dragon, we are going to be, we're going to start with an X Factor. We're going to try and kill Dragon with an X Factor and 3 Shine Sparks. So that is the goal, so hopefully we can pull that off without any problems whatsoever. For the 2 bosses in Meridia, Dragon and Botman, X Factors are really, really important for the opening. We are hoping for Dragon to goop the second cycle rather than swoop, but that is a 50-50, and it's just RNG. Good opening. Perfect RNG. Not what we want. Oops. Okay, that was inches away from killing Dragon. Unfortunately, it didn't. We got a nice backup. So now our prize, now we get our prize, Space Jump. Space Jump will allow us to get back across the Colosseum very quickly and easily. And it's a wonderful item which will help us a lot in lowering our fare. The next item that we're going to collect is Plasma, and then we're going to be headed straight for Ridley. Oh, that is a Wumple jump. We managed to do, this is the very fast strat through this room. We are quite happy that we managed to pull that off. Cack Alley. Cack Alley is a wonderful, wonderful room too. And we hope that we can show this off as well. Jump through that door to fix the door. Get the best door transition. So coming up, the Plasma Room is a fairly awkward room. It's a room where you have to kill enemies on the right side and the left side, and then get out. So, a very, very awkward room, and we're going to attempt to so what we're going to do is we're going to pick up Plasma, because you can't damage the enemies. And, well, first we're going to lay a power bomb, which will damage the wall pirates, but not the standing pirates, which are only vulnerable to Plasma, uncharged Plasma. So we're going to try and shoot left, shoot angled left, shoot left, and then jump to the right side and kill those. Unfortunately missed that pirate, but still a good run nonetheless. A really, really elegant solution for a room that is a complete mess. Our resources are looking absolutely amazing. We are almost full ammo and we have amazing health. So we're full missiles now. That is actually really important. When you're at full missiles, missile drops will become health drops. And that means that we're going to get 50% more health drops from Ridley than we would otherwise. Which is going to make the lower Norfair escape much, much, much easier. kill these few crabs, and just head directly down to repair. So right there was elevator RNG. When you're standing halfway on an elevator and hit down to use it, you have a 50% chance of actually using it. One time in the last month, it took us about 17 tries to actually use the elevator, which was 1 in 128k RNG. So we can actually say that we have gotten 1 in 128k RNG in a run, trying to use an elevator. Two supers, that is excellent. Those supers will follow us all the way to Torian. This ice beam is the very, very last upgrade that we are going to be getting. So at this point, all we have to do is kill Ridley, and then kill Mother Brain, and we good. And blow up a planet.
Before we blow up the planet. Before we blow up the planet, I indeed want to plug that, because at the moment we're just taunting the animals and not saving them just yet. So if you want that to make that happen, donate towards saving the animals right now.
Oops. We accidentally had the wrong item selected and burned 2 supers. We are very lucky that our super count is amazing here. But that is 2 less supers that we will have in Torian, which will make our Torian slightly more RNG dependent. Luckily we should be fine, but Torian will be more RNG dependent. That was an unfortunate bonk. That was almost a perfect lower route. Getting the perfect run speed through here. We're going to attempt to boost off one of the orbs. Let's see if we can pull it off. Nope. It's very difficult, but always worth going for. That was an unnecessary 50 damage. So having plasma here is going to make everything so much easier. In the second room in Lower Norfair, we are going to freeze the pirates. We're going to kill the pirates for lag reduction, and then we're going to try and charge a Shine Spark for fast pillars. So let's see if we can pull this off. This looks good. Barely, but it was. So in this room, we're going to freeze the pirate on the left, kill the pirate on the right for lag reduction, and then jump all the way up. And the way that freezing that pirate works is the same mechanic as earlier, where when you shoot a pirate, the pirate's claw will go up. When the pirate's claw goes up, that will make the pirate's hitbox extend forward. And by doing that, taking advantage of that allows you to hit the pirate exactly once rather than twice, which will freeze it without actually killing it. Because if you hit a pirate twice, it'll just die. We're going to kill 2 of the key hunters here for lag reduction for our 2 power bombs at the bottom of the room. In this room, we're going to hitbox through them. So when they're taking damage and flashing, you can actually run through them, and you take advantage of plasma causing that to just run through the enemies. So coming up here, we're going to go for the double-double. We aren't sure it's very difficult, and we're not guaranteed to get it, but we're going to go for it. And we got it. That is a really, really difficult trick and feels so good to get every time. And we got this fast space jump, which feels really, really, really good. Super count is amazing. Missile count is full. Everything about these resources are amazing right now. 20 charge shots for Ridley. So let's just blast Ridley into oblivion. There we go. That is a dead space pelican. That is a very dead space pelican. And that was probably the best segment that we've had this entire run. So we are very happy with that. So now we just need to get out of lower warfare, head to Torian, and blow up a planet. And find out what everybody watching wants us to do to the enemies.
Yeah, you can still snipe this, so get those donations going. It's still taunting the animals, but you can still change it. It's a small lead.
So here we're gonna try and do a speedball out. Okay, unfortunately that power bomb is too low. Okay. That was a wonderful, wonderful backup. We accidentally hit the ceiling too early and laid the power bomb too low, so we had to switch to a backup. And that is one of the things about this game. As you play it a lot, eventually for every room you have a backup of a backup of a backup that you can turn to if you need to. And having all those backups in mind it's really, really important because there's so many ways that you can mess up everything. So in the next room, we're going to be going for the triple on the key hunters. It's another tricky trick, and we're going to see if we can pull it off. It's always wonderful when we can. And there's the triple, killing all three with 2 plasma shots. That is a technique that was found within the last couple of years. The previous technique involved taking damage off the key hunters. But with that, not only do you not take damage, you also get to snag their farms. So it's just a wonderful, wonderful strat all around. And we are full supers, which will make Torian super easy. We can just go. There's always a risk in Torian of just not getting enough super drops, and not getting enough super drops very commonly kills world record paces. This route is much less RNG dependent than the world record route, and also we grabbed an extra missile pack compared to the world record route, which makes it less RNG dependent. But whenever we're watching anybody, Zost or Behemoth, go for the world record, whenever they enter Torian, we're always holding our breath, hoping that they get the good RNG. And as we make it to Torian, if you have any more donations, now is a good time.
At the moment not, but we can still change the outcome of the fate of the animals. They'll be taunted at the moment, but if you want to save or even just kill them, put them out of the misery, you can still make that happen before we blow up the planet. I mean, that's technically killing.
Our personal favorite would be to save the Decora, because it taught us how to train smart when we were a kid, and let the Edecuns die because they didn't teach us how to wall jump. We had to bomb jump out of the Edecun pit when we were a kid.
So selectively saving animals.
If only that was an option. So coming up in the room after the landing site, we're going to do 2 space jumps and then a mock ball and a speed ball to break the blocks. In the room after that, we're going to mock ball through the door, and the mock ball attempt to speed ball through the door, and the mock ball helps fix the door, which is the main reason for doing it. And we successfully pulled it off. That feels amazing. So here we are just in Torian. We feel very good about having this much health. In a previous marathon run, we were going to do a grouping strat for 3 of the Metroids, which means that we'd let them attach to us. In a previous marathon run, we got down to 1 HP on the Metroids, which meant that we were a frame or 2 away from death. Which makes us very happy that we have all this health, because that'll make that so much safer. So the 4 Metroid rooms are very, very technical. There's an excellent runner in the community named Static9, released a video of him doing the Metroid rooms with all the bells and whistles as swag as possible, and somebody calculated that it was about 400 APM. So we're going to be doing it in a slightly easier way, but these are still very, very input-heavy rooms. This room coming up is the most impressive looking of the 4. Fortunately, not if we do that. Impressive looking, but also very hard to do. So we are going to be looking for one more superhero. We have a 99% chance of getting it. So here's to hoping that we can pull it off. It looks like we do have a successful Rinka boost. That Rinka hit us through the door, which allows us to do a damage boost there. A wonderful setup. So coming up is a trick called the baby skip. This is the baby Metroid that we saw at the beginning of the game, that everybody was trying to steal. And normally it attaches to you and drains you down to 1 HP, but we're going to try and knock it attached. So let's see if we can pull this off. Good so far. We good. Super happy that we managed to pull that off. Other than getting grabbed in Metroid 3, this has been a really, really, really good Torian. So all that's left is to kill Mother Brain. Okay, so right here is a Zeb skip. Zebetite skip. If you can sneak past this. Then we despawn the rest of the Zebetites. And that trick is super, super important. That trick is the reason why we can get away with this little ammo. Woo. So the other reason why we grab the extra missile pack there is because that turret just ate a missile, and if we were going with the world record setup, we would be soft locked right there, and the run would be over. And the world record attempts have been sniped there, which is always really sad when it happens. 20 charge shots will do this. There we go. Now we have a 90-second cutscene, one of the saddest moments in video game history. And at the end of this cutscene, we are going to need a call on save, kill, or taunt.
Alright, I'll close the tent at about 60 seconds from now, so that we have still a chance to change the outcome.
And here when the baby drains you to 1 HP earlier, which is a cutscene we skipped, the baby recognizes you, and now it's coming back to save you. Saving you from Mother Brain, and refilling all your health. Unfortunately, Mother Brain doesn't like this, and she has her own plans. So get your baby thumbs ready out in chat for this sad moment. At the end of this cutscene, we are given the rainbow beam, and it'll take 36 shots of that to kill this Freyas Mother Brain. Beginning strat is just stand in the corner and just shoot like that. Unfortunately, that causes a lot of lag. So as a lag reduction strat, you get up in her face, and that saves time. So coming up here is a 70-second escape. So what is the call and save, kill, or taunt?
Alright, we still received a €5 donation by Canadian L, which is FreyasSpirit. Taunt the animals for pure time loss and memes. Well, that seals the fate of the animals. We will be taunting them.
Taunting them. Heck yes, let's go. So the entrance to this room is really pretty, jumping up the left wall. Definitely, this room is by far the most difficult room in the escape, and definitely our favorite to get right. Another moonfall, which saves about 1 second by getting uncapped fall speed. Coming up here is a climb. Took so long the first time, but this time we're just going to spark straight up it. No problems at all. And then we will be taunting the animals. So here we go. The animals got this far, they can save themselves. Oh yes, one thing, if you don't see the animals, these bomb blocks are still there, so you gotta clear them out. Something which surprises us every time we get taunted in a marathon. And here we go. GG. We hope that all of you enjoyed this run as much as we did. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much to BSG for having us. Thank you so much to everybody on staff who helps put this on. Events like these are always a lot of work to put on, and thank you so much for it, and raising money for a great cause. Do you want to wait in the credits for the Deer Force or not?
We can wait for that.
Let's do it. Let's wait for the Deer Force. So it was a 33 IGT, a very, very awesome run. The first time we ever tried to run this was so long ago. Smokey had a guide on game FAQs for trying to get under 1 hour IGT, and we just died to Phantoon over and over and just gave up. And we're so happy that we actually are running this game so many years later. This is an absolutely amazing game. Definitely our favorite game of all time, and it's an honor to show this off on every marathon because it's just such an amazing game and so fun to play. And if anybody wants to learn it, it looks intimidating, but it's actually fairly forgiving when you're trying to learn it. In Mario, if you fall, you die and have to restart the level. In Super Metroid, if you fall, you just jump back up and lose a few seconds. The community is incredibly welcoming, and it's just a really, really awesome game. Lots of awesome people running it, and we would highly recommend that if you're interested at all. This has been such a great game. Deer Force is the name of the team who made Super Metroid. And there's always a meme Deer Force new in the community about how much Deer Force actually intended of all the ways that we break the game today. And awesome team. We're so glad that they made this game that all of us can love so many years later. And it is tribute to them. We like to do the Deer Force when their name comes up in chat in the credits. So here we go. Here we go. Deer Force! And with that, thank you everybody so much for watching, and we hope that you all enjoyed this.
Alright, thank you so much for this run. We will be going to some quick ads while we're setting up for Shovel Knight, King of Cards. And that's also going to be the end of my shift. I will be giving it over to the capable hands of Kinnan. So have a good rest of the marathon.